Hello, everyone. This is Dave the Prayer Guy. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to watch this vlog. I hope this and my other vlogs have been helpful as an encouragement to you about how you can use prayer to fuel God's mission. Because that's my personal vision to kind of use prayer as a fuel for God's mission. Building His kingdom, advancing His kingdom, and making more disciples, and going out throughout the world to do that. So today I'm going to move into a little bit of a new direction. I've been going through the book of Acts, talking about prayer and God's mission in light of Acts, in light of what's going on with Paul and Saul, well, Paul/Saul, Peter, the apostles, and all that. And so someday I might go back to Acts. I haven't quite decided, so I'm going to ask for prayer that God will give me wisdom and discernment about returning to Acts, or to keep going on a more topical direction, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to move into a little bit more of a topical approach, at least for the next few vlogs. And I figure the first one will be about praying for God's mission in the midst of a pandemic, the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, we've all been living this reality for about 9 months now, at least those of us here in the United States. In other parts around the world, it has been longer than that. We're wearing masks. We notice our attendance at church, depending on where you're living, has been limited. We can only have so many in the service. Here in Maine, we're maxed out at about 50. The church that I attend, and I've actually been doing more watching the service, participating in the service, and worshiping via Facebook Live at home. And and also we kind of lived through the great toilet paper shortage. And there are many things that I bet you can name about this year that I haven't named that you probably will just rather skip over. It's been a crazy year, not only just with the pandemic, but some racial unrest as well. So, um, so with that in mind, I'm reminded of the book of Judges. And in there's a pattern of Israel falling away from God, and then God would bring in a foreign power to kind of rule them for a while, and then the people will start calling out to God. And then God would deliver them. He would raise up a judge, raise up a new ruler to deliver them. And so what you see here is basically God using other nations to get the attention of Israel, to get Israel to return. And there is part of me who wonders if God brought about COVID-19 to get the attention of the world, to get the world to be calling out to him. And so let's be praying that God will use this pandemic in a way to win others to himself. Um, or maybe it's to get the attention of the church to rise up and be doing more what she's called to do, to be engaged in his mission. So one thing I have found encouraging in all of this is that my pastors notice that there are people watching his sermons that do not live here in Maine. They live in other places. And I would imagine that your church's pastor, if he's able to get online, if he's doing it that way, that his messages are being reached beyond where he lives and where you live. And that is a great thing. Um, that he's making a difference, that our pastors are making a difference outside the areas of where we're living. So let's be praying that as we have our church services on Facebook Live and YouTube Live and other streaming services, other video services, that the gospel is being preached and that more people are being reached than we could possibly imagine with our influence. And really, I don't think and we're probably reaching people never would have thought that we would reach. And let's also be praying that those people will start going to church. We'll find a gospel believing church when this pandemic is over, when we're finally able to not worry about, well, how many people are in our church building. We can just pack them in and just worry about fire codes instead of pandemic codes. Because eventually will happen. Eventually we can stop wearing the masks. So again, I just want to propose to you that God's trying to get our attention. So let's be seeking Him. Let's be praying for His mission. Let's be praying for all the people that our technology is reaching. And I would say that's another prayer request. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't have this written down in my notes, but the request that we will use our technology for the good of the gospel. that our churches would embrace technology for the purpose of advancing its kingdom and getting the gospel out there. So I want to thank you so much for watching this. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, may the Lord be with you.